Hi everyone, my name is Kayla from Quiet Bodies Pilates, and I'm going to be taking you through an intermediate level, mostly classical reformer practice. I'm going to try my very best to stick to the classical Pilates order, but I might veer and make some tweaks along the way. You don't need any equipment because we're already on the reformer. We're going to kick things off with footwork, so you can put 3 to 4 springs down onto your reformer. We're going to start off with toes apart, heels together, making sure your feet are right in the middle of the bar. Okay, your heels are lifted up, arms by your side, and we're going to push out about 10 times. Now everyone's a little bit different. Some people believe that we should come all the way into the springs. Some people feel, or all the way into the stopper. Some feel that we should stay away. I really like coming all the way in, so that I'm increasing that range of motion at my knees and my hips, but you can make that decision for yourself. Okay, let's do 3 more. And 2. And last one. Okay, we're gonna change the position. We're gonna go to wrap toes, so you can either be on the balls of your feet with the toes holding the bar, or you can put the arches of your feet onto the bar. Legs are all the way together, but if you find that uncomfortable, you can separate the feet a little bit. And again, about 10 or 12 reps here. Okay, so we're gonna definitely create some heat through those quads while warming up ankles, knees, and hip joints. Great time to check in with that posture. Let's do 4. 3, try to keep your ankles as still as you can. Last 2, and 1. Close the carriage, then change to the heels. Pull your toes backwards towards you, so you're really working the shins a little bit more in this one, and then pushing out and in. Okay, trying to keep any other muscles in your body that you're not using just as relaxed as possible. Oof. Last 3. This is where I always check in with my clients or myself, and if it's not starting to feel a little spicy, I'm like, we did not go heavy enough. Unless you're not here for spice, and then that's cool, then you nailed it. Last one. Okay, to finish it off, we're gonna go to the balls of the feet, push the carriage out, lower those heels, stretch those calves, get taller through your spine, lift the heels up. We lower and lift, lower and lift. Okay, let's go about 5 more times. Try to make sure that you're going in each direction as much as you can. Good, let's do that one more time. Lift the heels up, bend the knees, come all the way in. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the 100. I'm just gonna come up, I'm gonna reduce my spring tension to 2, and I'm gonna put my foot bar down out of my way. If you like to use the foot bar to get your feet into the straps, but you do want it a little bit out of your way, just put it down to the 2nd or 3rd notch. So for the 100, we want to be a couple inches away from the shoulder blocks. Take your straps into your hands, reach your arms to the ceiling, bring those legs to tabletop, pull the straps down, lift the chest up, straighten your legs forward, and start to pump those arms. So we're here for 10 deep breaths. If having your legs out like this is too much, you can do tabletop. You can do legs up to the ceiling. Now notice how my carriage isn't moving back and forth. So we want to keep forward pressure with the chest, with the arms into those straps to make that happen. Locking the elbows. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Good, relax everything down. So because I'm already at 2 springs, that's a nice amount of resistance for me, 2 full springs for my short spine massage. So I'm just gonna leave it. Feel free to adjust if you need. I'm gonna lift my hips up and put my feet into the straps, but you can also use that foot bar to help you. Okay, if you like to practice this with your headrest flat, go ahead and put it down. Let's just kick off with a few frogs. My studio is a shared space, So I always like to do this a few times to be like, are the straps the same length as one another? Do I need to adjust? And then if I'm like, okay, everything's good, let's go. So our start position is toes apart, heels together, legs are straight, arms by your side. You're gonna bring your feet to the ceiling and then start to roll your hips up off of the mat so you're up in this shoulder stand. The carriage will close, then you're gonna bring the knees towards the shoulder blocks, keeping your bum up in the air. Now keep your feet still and start to roll down. You don't have to do this with your hands, I'm just demonstrating. Once you can't straighten those knees anymore, pull the hips down, find that frog position, and push out. Let's go one more time slow. Straight legs, lift up to the ceiling, and then to the wall behind you. Bend your knees to the shoulder blocks. Keep your feet on top of your face, roll down through the spine. When you get stuck, pull the bum down, the heels to your bum, and press out. All right, let's go 3 more times. I think short spine massage is definitely an exercise where once you get used to the choreography, kind of playing around with it a little bit, lingering in the certain spots that feel the juiciest for you. Making sure you're not holding that breath. Okay, so we are gonna do a classical transition into our coordination. So I'll talk you through it. We go up into our inversion position, we bend our knees, and we hold. Start to descend or start to roll down. Now, once you get stuck, take your hands, slip them into your straps and slip your feet out. Bend your elbows and bend your knees, and then we lift the chest up. We just saved like 4 seconds. Straighten your arms and legs out, hold. Open, close, knees bend, elbows bend. Again, reach out. Open, close, knees and elbows bend. Try to lift the chest up higher. So again, keeping that forward pressure with the straps. I'm still on those 2 springs. But you can definitely give yourself more or less for any of these exercises. Last 2. Okay, last time. All right, and then relax down. Okay, I'm gonna put my straps onto my shoulder blocks and we're gonna come all the way up. Okay, so nice little way to warm up. We're gonna go into our long box series next. So our long box series, a general place to start off with your spring tension is 1 full tension spring. Sometimes I like to go a little bit heavier than that. It all depends. When I first learned the reformer series, the reps for these were always like 5 or less. I prefer to do a little bit more, so if you're finding it's too much, you can definitely stop at 5 if that's what works for you. So you're gonna put your box on, have your straps available, and then you can come down onto your stomach with the head towards the pulleys. Your chest can either be on or off the box, whatever is most comfortable for your body. I'm gonna thread my hands through and grab up onto the white part of my rope. For my style of reformer, it just makes it a little less clangy and noisy. Feet are either hip distant apart or all the way together. Straight arms by the side of your reformer. Sorry, that might echo a bit. We're gonna pull those straight arms all the way back beside the hips, lifting the chest. Try to get your hands beside your pockets, and then lower your arms down, bringing your chest down with it. So head, chest, arms lift. Create this big dart shape with your body, and then slowly return. If you need more range of motion, walk your hands further up your straps, and then rounding back down. I find the next 2 variations that we're gonna practice are more challenging. So if the spring tension is already challenging enough, or too challenging, I would go down a little bit. Could go to a half spring. Let's do this twice more. Last one. Okay, good. Now we're gonna keep the spine straight. We're gonna have those elbows bent, and we're gonna do some tricep extensions. About 8 to 10. Okay, we wanna keep those elbows still. Try not to let them go up and down. Last 3, 2, and 1. Okay, close the carriage for a second. Place your hands onto the rails just to give yourself a little break. And then we're gonna tackle the T-pull. This is the most challenging of all of them. So you're gonna grab on close to the end of your strap, arms out to the side, lift them up the same height as your box, pull in towards your hips, and return. Try to keep those palms facing the floor the whole time. Woo. So try to get 6 or 8 reps in here. I'm gonna do 3 more. 2, and 1. Okay, awesome work. We're gonna throw those straps down into the well, so just into that space, and slide your legs off to the side. Maybe give yourself a little bit of a cat stretch. All right. So now we're gonna move on to short box. So we're gonna take that box. For my reformer, I put it on top and I push it this way. I make sure it's not spilling over one end over the other. Short box is really different for everyone. It's different for everyone's reformers. With my particular kind and my height, I just don't like dealing with changing my settings so much because I'm almost 6 feet tall. So my little hack is I like to put my platform extender on. I slip out my safety strap. I make sure my platform extender is all the way here, and then I climb on. I'm just gonna grab my maple pole. Sorry, that was like a very klutzy moment. My like old dancer days come back where you're like maybe not good to like turn your butt to the audience. So both feet into the straps. So why I like this platform extender is now it gives me lots of leeway and space, so I'm not having my heels digging down into the springs because of my height. When we do our round back, you can start with those knees a little bit bent, and then as you start to put tension onto your straps, your knees can straighten and your strap can tighten, okay? So we're gonna sit up tall, place the hands just in front of the stomach, and then round forward. Okay, now we're gonna start to curl the tailbone under and think about connecting the back of your waistband towards the box. You get as far as you can go, and then curl chin to chest, return and round forward, and we'll go again. The carriage shouldn't move here. If it moves a couple inches, that's okay. Again, when I did my teacher training back in the day, it was always like 3, 5 reps, but you could do more. I usually ask my clients to do about 8 of these, if they're capable. Because I find it usually takes us a few to figure out how we feel that day. Like, now I'm thinking, I'm gonna go into the full, not full, but I'm feeling okay, and I think I can let my head go backwards. It's very hard to talk and do this one at the same time. Let's take this one more time. Grunting into the mic might happen today. Okay, we're gonna grab onto our maple pole. We're gonna do this straight back. So now you're gonna move backwards so you have lots of tension on your strap, sitting up straight, taking your dowel. If you don't have a towel works, a resistance band, a broomstick, or you can just put your hands behind your head. We're gonna reach the arms straight up towards the ceiling, bring the thumbs to the same side as your fingers. With locked elbows, pull apart on your dowel and keep that connection the whole time. It's gonna help strengthen your body for the long stretch. Sit up as straight and rigid as you can. Start to lengthen backwards, going into kind of this hinge.
And then I want you to think about pushing your dowel up into the ceiling to come forward. Again, push the dowel upwards, get tall, 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 and coming forward. So we want to avoid any kind of sinking through that lower spine, so we want to avoid doing this. I like to imagine that my head is a metal stake, and I'm drilling and pushing it up in towards the ceiling. 2 more. And last one. Okay, good, and relax. Okay, so this next variation, I'm not a big fan of the next 2 classical short box exercises. I don't find them, I don't know, I just don't really like them, but I like this contemporary one. So for the Pilates police out there, I realize that this is not technically, I'm gonna break some rules for you. Arms are gonna go out in front. You notice I've moved forward a little bit because I'm gonna be going into my round back. Then you're gonna lift the dowel up to the ceiling, rotate to the right, back to center, rotate to the left. And if that's like pretty challenging for you, then you're gonna lower and come up and take a break in between. If that was feeling pretty good, we're gonna roll back and we're gonna do 6 times in a row. Good, so there's 2. Last one each side. Lower the dowel down, come back up, sit tall. Let's take that 2 more times. 2 more sets of 6. Maybe I'm gonna turn to the right first this time. Maintaining that C curve. Oh yeah, okay. I'm getting hot. Let's do 1 more. Okay, 6. Trying to keep that dowel horizontal, rotating the ribs. Whew. Okay. Oh yeah, all right. That is done. I'm gonna put my maple pole away in its magic slot. Okay, the tree. I'm gonna slip my right foot out. I find my strap gets pretty slack here. I'm comfortable with it, but if you have the time and you want to tighten up your strap, if it makes you feel better, go for it. I'm gonna grab the back of my right thigh, lift it up to tabletop, round the lower back so that you're in this magical position. We're gonna straighten the right leg as much as you can so you feel a stretch, and then bend. We're gonna do that 5 times. Also kind of looking down and seeing how square you can get your hips. You'll always notice if this is your right leg that your right hip's trying to twist backwards in order to make this stretch less intense. Okay, now on the next one, you're gonna keep your legs straight to the ceiling. We're gonna walk the hands towards the ankle, flex your foot, and bring your forehead towards your shin. This is all I got. Then we're gonna tip backwards. So the foot is to the ceiling as best you can. This is your safety check. You are making sure at this moment, I'm just shaking so you can see that. It's not gonna drop me, it's got me. Walking down, and then back up. 5 of these. You could let the head go back. The further back you go, the more core work you get, but also might stretch out that hip. Last one. Okay. Our finish, you're gonna grab your ankle, tip yourself forward, and then try to lengthen out your spine. Photogenic moment, and then let it go. Okay, let's take that on the other side. So right foot in, square off those sit bones, left foot, round into that back, and we're gonna straighten and bend 5 times. Okay, last time. Flex the foot, we walk to the ankle, we bring the forehead to the shin, and then we tip back. Okay, so foot is to the ceiling, your safety strap is there for you, you feel confident, you're gonna walk You're gonna walk down. Maybe I should take my own advice. Walking down, I'm okay. And back up. Okay, check those hips are as square as you can make them. Last two. Okay. Last time. Okay. All right, grabbing onto that ankle, tipping forward, lengthen that spine, keep the foot flexed, drop the shoulders. Okay, and release, let that go. All right, so last short box series, we're gonna turn to face sideways. I'm gonna face you first. So again, our safety strap is really important here. As I just illustrated, it's literally holding you. So my preferred way to get into this is I like to place my hand onto my headrest, or it could even be your rail, because then I can get myself completely into position before letting go, so I'm not exhausted before I even start the exercise. You're gonna flex your foot and push your heel up into the strap. This leg has a lot of choices. My favorite is to have my knee bent like this. Some people like to cross it behind the knee, and some people like to tuck the toes there. I actually feel like I'm gonna cross it today. Then you're gonna lower your torso down and make a really strong diagonal. Let's start off with a prep. Take your top arm to the ceiling. We're gonna go down. This is testing the waters. We're gonna lift to that diagonal line and then take your hand off, check. And again, we go down, lift, and check. Maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you're like, yeah, this is kind of scary, or this is hard. If you want to progress, put that hand across your tummy, and we'll do 6. Good, 4. 3, 2, and 1. All right, then you're gonna take your hand to the rail and take a passive stretch. Maybe your hand even can make it to the floor, depending on how high off the ground your reformer is. And then coming all the way up. Okay, my back is gonna be to you, but sometimes that's nice to see. When I'm teaching my clients, I often will watch this exercise from the back. So you're gonna place your hand onto the headrest, secure your foot in, slide towards the head of your reformer so that your strap is tight. Get that foot locked in place, and then diagonal with the torso. Let's do our test. Bend, lift. You're gonna notice one side feels stronger than the other. That's very common. Okay, here we go, 6 more. I put my hand across my waist. 3, 2, 1. And then we stretch. Okay, let's come all the way up. Okay, this is my favorite part. I find short box is kind of a challenging core series, and whenever I step off, I feel like I'm floating. So I hope you do too. Floating and tripping as I put my box away. Okay, we're gonna ditch the platform. Okay, moving the foot bar up. Beautiful. Okay. So we're gonna go into our long stretch next. I'm pretty tall, so I'm gonna move my carriage stopper out a couple notches, which just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. I forgot mine. They're at the other end of the studio, but if you have a grippy mat, you're gonna put it onto your headrest. I feel fairly confident that I'm not gonna slip, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of the risk. Make sure your foot bar is locked into place. Place your hands on the foot bar first with your thumbs on the same side as your fingers, and then step your feet up into that little crease. Okay. And then when you feel like your shoulders are stacked and you're ready to go, we're gonna push the carriage out with straight arms and pull back in. So again, you can do anywhere between 5 to 10 reps. I'm gonna go for 8 today. I forgot to say I'm at 2 red springs. Pushing out, resisting back in. Ooh, So when you're at heavy springs, so 2 red I consider pretty heavy, I have to resist the carriage from just catapulting me forward. That's better. Let's do 2. I'm starting to get tired. And last one. Good. We're going to lower those knees all the way down. Again, don't pull back on your foot bar if you have one that doesn't lock into place. Change your feet so your feet are up against the shoulder blocks. I'm going to swap out my spring for something lighter. I like this at a red and a blue. Okay, down stretch. Let's break this up. We're going to round our back, and we'll start off with our first layer. So you can see I'm so far rounded back that I could take my hands off of the foot bar and be completely still in space. From here, I'm going to start to push my carriage out with my feet, let my hips come down, and look straight out in front. So I've made this kind of swan shape with my torso. Then I'm going to curl my chin to my chest, round my back, and pull all the way back to the round back. I could take my hands off if I want. Let's do that again. Push into the feet, bring the waistband towards your springs, look straight ahead, round your back, pull the carriage in. You don't have to do this hand test every time, but I think it is good when you're first learning. One more. So you can think this is a really fancy way to do cat stretch or cat-cow. Okay, let's add to that. We push the waistband down, we look straight forward. We're gonna bring the carriage in and push out 3 times. Bring it in and push out. Keep looking straight forward and squeeze your glutes. Now we're gonna round our back and pull all the way in. Okay, let's do that again. We push the carriage out, hips go down, eyes go forward. Squeeze your glutes and press out. 2 more. And press out. Last time. And press out. Round the back, pull it all the way in. Okay, let's take that one more time. If you feel like you get to here and then you start doing like this, that's why I'm saying squeeze your glutes. If I bring my hips down and I really lock it into place, then I have some more control over my carriage. Okay, so let's think about that on this last one. Round the back, push the carriage out, hips down, squeeze the glutes, look forward, pull in 3, and press it out. Use your arms and your legs. 2, and press it out. Last one, and push it out. And then we round the back and pull it all the way in. Very well done. Okay. I'm gonna skip ahead, I'm gonna skip the up stretch. We're gonna go into our elephant next. I've gone back to 2 springs. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna have my heels a little bit forward. I'm confident my feet aren't going to slip because I've moved my stopper, so I'm a little further away than I want to be. But you can have, traditionally your heels would be up against the shoulder blocks. Round your back, push out with the legs, and pull in. You can lift your toes if you want. This is a great exercise to learn how to disassociate your legs from your torso. Your torso staying still while your legs are moving, which is a weird thing at first. It's also a really good stretch. Last one. Okay, we're gonna keep the hands on the foot bar. We're gonna step the feet off to the side and then give your wrists a few rolls. So if you're newer to reformer work, it's a lot on the wrists at first. Reverse. So we get used to it. Okay, very nice. Gonna change my stopper. Okay, stomach massage. I'm actually gonna grab my gripper for this, so I'm gonna go out of camera. So I find stomach massage nearly impossible to do without a gripper mat. If you don't have one of these, go to the dollar store and grab some of those drawer liners, those sticky ones. That works just fine. You're gonna place your grippy mat at the end of your mat. I'm at 2 red springs. You could go heavier and you could go lighter. We're gonna do the round back and the flat back today. You're gonna sit as close to the end of your reformer as you can get. We're gonna take those hands and wrap them underneath the edge of your reformer and place your toes apart, heels together onto your foot bar. Looking down, kind of pulling up like you're hooking up and over those legs. We're gonna push out till those legs are straight, lower the heels, lift, and come in. Yeah, I could have gone way heavier for this. I'm gonna change it. Just gonna pop another spring on. There we go, that's better. I like my springs to feel heavy enough so that I actually have to hold on. If you've got shorter arms and you can't wrap, then you might have to go a little bit lighter because you'll just have your hands placed. Pretend you're hanging from a hook from your ribs. Let's do 2 more. And last one. I'm gonna pop my middle spring off, you don't necessarily have to, and then we're gonna take the hands and place them onto the shoulder blocks behind us. Press up, wrap your elbows backwards, find a stretch across your chest, and then we lower and lift. Try to get as close to the stopper as you can get. This is my favorite stomach massage version because I just really like the stretch. This is really good if you have a lack of mobility in your hips and ankles. Pulling in can be challenging. Last one. All right, and then we're gonna leave that one there. We're gonna come off, and we're gonna lie down onto our backs. So before you do that, just make sure that your straps are waiting for you. 2 red springs. We're gonna go into our frog and our leg circles. Your headrest can be up or down. And I'll show you the other way you can get into your straps if you'd like to know. So you're gonna push out with both of your feet. You keep one foot in, put pressure into that strap. You bring the other, and you're good to go. Okay, so we already did some frogs. Let's do a few more. Good. Okay, last one. All right, now we're gonna go into our leg circles. So this next part of this reformer practice is a bit up and down. We're only here for this one exercise. And we do about 5 to 8 circles in each direction. I'm gonna go the other way. You want to stop your circle just so the straps are shy of the shoulder blocks. Last one. Okay, we're going to bend the knees, take the feet out of the straps, close the carriage, and I'm going to make some noise here. We're going to drop the straps down into the well because we're going to do our knee stretches next, okay? So think of that like as a moment of recovery and preparation. Got one upright exercise before we take it back down. 2 red springs. If you've done any fitness classes or like HIIT workouts, I want you to think this is your equivalent of the mountain climber, okay? So our goal is to keep our shoulders and torso still while moving our legs at a very rapid pace. So 2 red springs, hands come onto the foot bar, and your feet are gonna come up against the shoulder blocks. I'm gonna sit myself backwards, so again, I could take my hands off of the foot bar if I wanted to. We're gonna push the carriage out so that the thigh bones are vertical and then pull back in. So out and in, out and in. So just get comfortable with that movement. And ask yourself, are you pushing forward enough with your arms into the foot bar so that your shoulders aren't moving back and forth? If I don't stabilize, it starts to become like this, which is still hard, honestly. Now, start to go faster. So right now, I'm not cueing any kind of spine here. So let's say this is our flat back. Let's go for 6 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in for a second. Now we're gonna try to do that exact same thing, but keeping our spine round. So now another element to think about. So round your back, do that hand check, push out to vertical and then in. A lot of work for those thighs. Round it. Keep it up. Let's go for 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, if you can believe it, we're gonna do one more variation. It's so spicy here. Knees off, okay? If you don't wanna do knees off, repeat either of those. So now I'm not gonna be able to take my hands off. I'm gonna hover, but I'm gonna sit back towards my heels. Let's go for 10. 6, 5, 4, 3. Good job. Lower the knees down. Okay, it elevates the heart rate. And now we get to lie down for a few exercises. So I'm taking my springs to 3. You could go as heavy as 4 or all of your springs. I just wanna keep it to 3. We're gonna lie down. Just gonna scoot on down this way. Running, so legs all the way together. Push out so those legs are straight. Lower one heel at a time. You can do any speed here. I love this moment in the reformer workout. Knee stretches is like we've been doing all of this very smooth, controlled movement, and then all of a sudden, right out of left field, we have to do this explosive movement with the reformer. So knee stretches kind of comes way out of left field, but I really like it. It has a lot of energy to it. And then running comes after it, and it just feels like this nice kind of prance. All right, 4, 3, 2, let's bring it in. Okay, so now we're gonna bring the arches of the feet onto the foot bar so that the knees and toes are turned out. This exercise looks super weird. I think it feels really nice to stretch my lower back. So my lower ribs stop about here, actually right where my little shirt is. I'm gonna curl my hips and lift just my pelvis off, but I'm gonna keep my rib cage connected. Again, looks super weird. Then I'm gonna push my carriage out, and I'm gonna bend and curl my tailbone under in order to come in. So every time I'm returning, I'm trying to increase this feeling of traction and flexion. I missed an exercise, and it was the one I was like actually thinking about it, because I was like, this would help with our teaser. I skipped teaser. Next time, friends, the teaser for your next workout is we will do the teaser. Okay, let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Good, roll it all the way down. Let's come up. Okay, so I'm gonna take it to 2 springs. I'm gonna do front splits, just the end version. I'm not gonna do the full standing on it, and then side splits, and then we're done. So I'm gonna place my hands onto the foot bar, feet up against the shoulder blocks. We're gonna take that right foot. Actually, I'm gonna take it down. I wanna be a little lighter. I'm going to a red and a blue. So right foot is gonna come up, left foot is up against that shoulder block. I'm gonna initiate by pushing the carriage back with my foot first, my back foot, and then I'm gonna push with my front leg. And you wanna feel those 2 different directions, front foot pushing that way, back foot pushing that way, and then bring that carriage in. Let's do 5 of these. We're all different. Generally speaking, we're searching for stretches through the hip and the hamstring. while getting used to being upright on the reformer. Okay, careful not to pull back on the foot bar. I'm gonna take that foot off and change sides. Okay, initiate with the back foot, follow through with the front foot. Ooh, pull it in. Okay, 3 more. Good, last 2. And last 1. Okay, good. We're gonna step off. Okay. Front splits. Side splits. I said that with such confidence. We're gonna lower that foot bar all the way down. Now, this is gonna vastly differ for everyone's reformer. I'm at 2 red springs. This is the classical version. The classical idea is that heavier springs when you're a beginner, less range of motion, it's more stable, and then you go lighter springs as you become more accustomed to the reformer. The caveat with this is a standing exercise. So you wanna make sure that the springs that you choose aren't going to buck you off of the reformer. So springs that you can handle without using any explosive power, okay? So I'm gonna use my platform extender. If you have one, that's great. If you don't, you can use your standing platform. Sticky mats are great if you feel like your feet are going to slip. This is the stable part, and that is the movable part. So I'm gonna put my first leg onto my stable platform first. You can see I'm kind of towards the back. And then I'm gonna take my other foot here. Keeping the carriage closed, I'm gonna start to inch my foot out until the outer blade of my foot is against my carriage. Right now my springs are so heavy that the carriage shouldn't be moving too much, okay? You can have your hands on your hips or out to the side. Start small. You're gonna push the carriage out. You're making sure that the feet feel like they have a good grip. You're gonna hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. You're gonna pull the carriage in, and I want you to squeeze those legs together and hold for 3, 2, 1. Now, sometimes I like to put my foot kind of to this inner edge so I have more traction and I can push and hold it a little further. 3, 2, 1. Pull it in and squeeze for 3, 2, 1. There are so many different variations. I find this one is decently beginner friendly at first. We're not gonna do a ton of reps. Good, pull it in and squeeze, 3, 2, 1. Good, pull it in. When we have heavier springs, you're gonna feel more work through the sides of your hips. Keep it still. Pull it in. And you're like, she doesn't look like she's going very far. That's because my springs are really heavy, right? So I'm not actually doing the splits. And then pull it in. Good. We're gonna take this on the other side. To change sides, we always wanna move on the platform. So you're gonna toe ball heel this foot in until you have good balance. You're either gonna dismount and walk around to the other side, or if you have a big platform like mine, you can turn around on it. I'm gonna have my back to you. So again, foot onto the stable piece first, then up onto the carriage. Toe ball heel your foot away, and then have that equal weight on both of your feet. Okay, here we go. We push out, we test the waters, we make sure everything is good, we're nice and safe, and then we pull it in and squeeze. 3, 2, 1. We push out, we hold, and pull in. The reformer really teaches us how to have that control. I think explosive movement and momentum is completely awesome. I practice it all the time, but this is not the spot for it. Okay, pull it in and squeeze. We want to gradually stretch that spring, hold it there for a moment, feel the work that we're doing, and then gradually close it. We know where we are at all times. Nothing's left up for chance. pull it in. All right, last rep, and then our workout is complete. Good, and pull it all the way in. Okay, we exit, we toe ball heel until you feel steady, and then you step backwards. And that was it. Thank you so much for moving with me. I love the intermediate classical series. I definitely skipped a few. I skipped the teaser, I skipped the semicircle, but that's the gist of it. Up stretch, all of those things. So next time I'll be sure to put them in so you can experience them. If you have any questions, let me know below. My name is Kayla, and I'll see you next time. Bye.